Right. Well, I think we can all agree that Mikuriya has really fucked it up this time.
Oh god, yes.
So this dungeon is significantly easier than the witch's castle. For some reason.
Yeah, why not?
I don't really know why that's the case, because, like, you know, obviously we've had another entire chapter, so, like, I mean, you'd think we would continue to escalate, but no, like everything about this, the boss, this dungeon, the whole thing is just a step down from the last chapter for no, you know, just completely inexplicable reason.
Well, this one feels a lot more focused on story than, like, the Witch's Castle climax did, so,
I feel like that was also pretty big on story.
Yeah, I'll grant that the witches that this one, like, the story, not that there wasn't story in the Witch's Castle, but it was admittedly kind of resolved already. Like, we had gotten Asuka back and everything. It was just kind of a formality at that point.
yeah, like, this dungeon hinges around, like, basically Rion, whereas, like, the Witch's Castle hinged around Shiori, and it's like, okay, yeah, there's a character we give a shit about in this dungeon compared to the last one, so...
I mean, I guess to be a little bit fair, this is also just, like, the prelude to the dungeon. Because, spoilers, we will be getting Rion in this video. And so, like, this is just kind of a very short introduction area before we, really turn the heat up.
I was gonna ask, like, if we were actually getting Rion for, like, her chapter dungeon.
Oh, yeah, no, she'll be here. She's gonna join in probably about 5-6 minutes, give or take.
Yeah, I was basically gonna assume that, like, yeah, like, the second you get Rion, shit is just gonna go off like a rocket.
I mean, it eventually will. Like, the end of this dungeon is gonna be a ride, to put it mildly. But yeah, no, the dungeon itself is just, it's just not interesting.
You're talking about, like, when even after, like, we get Rion too, right? Like, dungeon not being...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so basically, Tokyo Xanadu finally fucking discovers what pacing is, and it does it in the boringest way possible, is what you're saying.
I would strongly disagree with the idea that Tokyo Xanadu has the first goddamn idea what pacing is. I mean, we're gonna have, like, our entire combo count by the time we finish this first section. That's not nothing.
These buzzsaw starfish things are reminding me of the alien enemies from Elite Dangerous.
Honestly, they remind me of an SMT demon more than anything.
Funny, I'm thinking of a Castlevania enemy.
That buzzsaw dude is absolutely about to show up and call me a dipshit for having too many friends.
どうしてこんな時に君の顔が浮かぶんだか。ぶっきらぼうで失礼で特別扱いしてくれなくて。でも私の夢をすごいって言ってくれた。時坂君、助けて。
おお
Our hero just swooping in at the last second to save the day.
大丈夫か、久我山。
時坂君、なんなの君。かっこつけすぎだよ、バカ。なんとか間に合ったわね。
男を見せたじゃねえか。
かなり消耗していますね。他の方々も含めて手当てしましょう。
どうすか。
怪我もありませんし、生命に別状はなさそうです。ですが、グリムグリードに魂を奪われたみたいね。放っておけば精神そのものが死に至りかねないわ。そんな。
姉さんの時と同じか。やはり元凶ってのをどうにかするしかなさそうだ。
元凶って私のことでしょ。だってあれは私から出てきたんだから。私そのものだから。
久我山。
あのミクリアって人も言ってた。私がいたからこうなったんだって。大怪我をして手術室に運び込まれた時、私はずっと願ってた。生きたい、生きていたいって。そんな時目の前に天使が現れたの。最初は夢か幻だと思った。でも今ならわかる。私が手術を乗り越えられたのはあれを受け入れたからだって。だから手術の後にあんなことに。
I love that last shot of the hospital room. Just like, yeah, no. Rion just pulled through that surgery like nothing ever happened.
And pulled half the room into a black hole from the look of it, yeah.
That's how you know she's all better now.
そしてそれは彼女の霊的な領域の深い場所で融合してしまった。だからこそ普段は安定して表に出ることはなかった。それが何らかのきっかけで顕在化し、彼がそれを暴走させたんですね。バカみたい。ようやく小さい頃からの夢が叶ったと思ったのに、スピカだったらきっとその先だってつかめるって。私たちの歌でみんなを励ましていけるって信じてたのに。
I'm not really sure what kind of message this whole thing is saying. It basically, like, if you're going in for surgery and as they're putting you under, you see a heavenly being, what, tell it to fuck off?
夢なんか持つんじゃなかった。こんなことなら あの時死んじゃえばよかったんだ。リオンさん。
バカなこと言ってんじゃねえ。お前は久我山リオンだろ。ただひたむきに歌が好きで世界中を歌で励ますなんて大それたことを本気で言えちまう。それがお前なんだろうが。お前がスピカのリオンであり続けるか、そいつはお前が決めることだし、他の誰にも決められることじゃねえ。ただこれだけは覚えとけ。お前を応援している奴はいくらでもいるってことを。ファンや俺たち、もちろん彼女たちもな。
リオン、見てる？まったく、あんたって子はこんな時まで心配かけて。とっとと直して駆けつけなさい。じゃないとセンターは独占するわよ。私、リオン先輩たちの歌に憧れてスピカを目指したんです。小さい頃から引っ込み思案で前に踏み出せない自分を変えたくて。私も人と話すのが苦手で、そんな時に先輩たちと出会った。ずっと感謝してる。あの時手を差し伸べてくれたの。最初は3人だったスピカも今では5人。誰が欠けたとしても本当のスピカにはならないと思う。だから待ってる。私たちもファンのみんなも。あなたがきっとステージに駆けつけてくれるって。みんな。
ライブもまだ始まったばかりだろ。こんなところでへこたれてる場合かよ。
そうね。
Interesting how that video was in horizontal orientation, yet Ko was holding the phone vertically the whole fucking time.
I mean, you don't know that. Maybe he was like, maybe it was like tilted the entire time and Rion could only see this weird diagonal video.
Or maybe Rion was just tilting her head the entire time the video was playing.
Either that or it auto-rotated to horizontal mode in vertical mode, so just Rion saw like a little teeny tiny crop version of it.
何が立ちはだかったって絶対にステージに立ってみせるわ。私のスピカの歌をたくさんの人たちに届けるためにも。
Anyway, yeah. This is all very rote stuff, but like I still like it a lot. I think it's very well done for what it is.
響いてセラフィム・レイヤー。
Is she the reason why everyone has, like, flight animations?
I wouldn't be surprised. Although hers is a bit more explicit than everybody else's.
And yeah, the chapter title, A Wing and a Prayer, finally fully makes sense, I suppose. I mean, that's really good, because it would really suck if, like, she looked at him like, how the fuck do I use these things?
I mean, to be fair, if I were to suddenly get, like, back-mounted wing weapons, I genuinely would be like, what in the fuck is this? How am I supposed to fight with this?
Yeah, it's gonna take like 15 minutes so I can figure out how to fly.
Anyway, Rion is a wind, and there's really no reason to break up our party as it is, so we're just gonna flip out Sora for Rion. Which is good, because Rion and Sora play fairly similarly. Like, not like directly, obviously, because Rion is much more of a ranged character, but like, the general setup is pretty similar. She's, like, well, at least by default, you can see that she has, like, no bulk whatsoever. But fortunately, we can fix that.
So can she swap in, like, alt cores on her soul device already, or is that something that you've got to, like, beat the chapter to unlock?
No, she cannot swap yet. She is limited only to wind.
But I'm guessing, like, she'll probably get a core that, like, covers, like, everyone else's, sort of blind spots, I suppose, right? Because, like, having 2 wind defaults in the party seems like it's belaboring the point a tiny bit.
I forget what her other one is. It's either Steel or Spell, but don't quote me on that until we actually unlock it.
Okay, so I see she's got some ranged lasers.
Yeah. Yeah, Rion's, so that's her power attack, that tornado. It's marginally useful. It's not great, like, it's probably her least useful attack, all things considered. Like, her best one is honestly probably her flight, of all things. Which, you know, it sounds kind of obvious when you say it out loud like that, but flying attacks in general aren't great in this game. Like, not that they're bad, they're just typically not someone's strongest point.
So then, yeah, I suppose it would make sense that you get one character who that actually is their strongest point in commerce to everyone else, just to try and make them a little more unique, I suppose.
What's funny is that her magic is also really good too. Like, it's not like Asuka good or anything, but like her default ranged attack is like a 6 laser barrage, and that shit absolutely will home in on people if you're locked on.
That's pretty rad, honestly. Like, I was just sold on the laser barrage already, but the auto tracking's real nice too.
This room's a little rude. There's really nothing you can do unless you brought Mitsuki in terms of shadow, so you can melt them with the right power attacks, but that's a room that'll catch you off guard if you're not paying attention.
Given the makeup of the dungeons otherwise so far, like, why the hell would you bring Mitsuki for this?
So just based on that comment she had in the middle of that scuff, does Rion actually like have it or specialize in healing as well, or?
No, she doesn't have anything as far as healing goes. I mean, she might have like kicked the automatic healing that happens like when you go below a certain amount, but
Okay, it's really weird then that she just kind of randomly said that she'll handle the healing.
oh yeah, that's the auto heal kicking in. Yeah, everybody has a line sort of like that.
Okay, got it.
Because, yeah, again, it would be really, really weird to basically give you a dedicated medic as your final full party member.
I don't even know how a medic character would actually work in this game. Like, given the mechanics surrounding that.
Maybe it'd be kind of like they put up an aura that lets you drain HP as you deal damage? I don't know.
Or they speed up the healing of whoever's in reserve? I don't know.
交代するよ。
交代するぜ。
Here's a question that I've been kind of holding off asking for a while. Like, I remember you got a while back, basically, like, just sort of like Rion voice navigation, like, thing where, like, every time you'd get, like, an item or something, like, you get, like, a little voicemail from, like, basically, like, Hollow Rion. How does that work now that Rion is an actual playable party member?
It works. I mean, it works the same way that all of the voice packs do. Like,
They just don't acknowledge it?
yeah, it doesn't acknowledge it at all. Or because what'll happen is it kind of gets split between the two. Because, like, even when we did have that installed, we were still occasionally getting actual party members to chime in when we found stuff. So it's similar to that. You just have Spica Rion also talking to you at the same time as actual Rion.
Well, alright.
I'm a little disappointed she doesn't tease Ko for having her as his phone navigator, but I'm also not surprised.
Or just a nice little bit of just acknowledging that, like, she's effectively talking to herself, like...
It's a little less obvious because I was inflicted with slow that entire time, but Rion in the air is extremely silly. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but like you're able to get like 2 entire combo chains off without ever coming back down to the ground.
It's like you're playing Kingdom Hearts. Rion is the final party member, right?
Yes. Well, yes and no.
Final full-time party member. I'm guessing there's guest star party members between, like, probably White Shroud and the gentleman who we will not be speaking about until the end of the chapter.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, there will be a couple other folks who are playable, but as far as like a permanent cast goes, yes, this is it.
Okay, so who would you say is the best or your favorite character to play as then?
I don't know. That's kind of a hard question to answer because a lot of it's context dependent. Like, Shio, for example, is far and away, like, the best and easiest party member to play as, but, like, the situations where Shio is bad, Shio is really fucking bad. So...
I'd say then that's probably a testament to probably how well they balance the game, where, like, you really can't put your finger on, okay, yeah, no, this is my favorite one to play as, period.
I mean, Rion's up there, Sora's up there, Shio's up there. I'd say those are probably my top 3.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Crow that the fact that every character has like situations where they're great and not so great is pretty good point in favor of this game's balancing.
I would say that, like, they tend to get better as you go. Like this, like, I would be hard pressed to find a situation where I'm like, yeah, I absolutely would not want Rion here. But, like, I guess that's fair because, you know, she is also literally the final party member. It makes sense. She probably has the least weaknesses. Like, when your biggest problem is bulk, that's not really a weakness considering that, like, I slapped 2 accessories on her and literally doubled her HP total.
Also, with the emphasis this game has on, mobility and dodging, I feel like as long as you're okay with timing your dodges, you're probably not gonna be in too much trouble as with someone as fragile as Rion.
I mean, we've seen where you can get in a lot of trouble, but that is mostly against bosses, so... Also, I seriously cannot stress enough how absolutely bonkers it is for Rion to just run up the combo on literally everything.
Ooh, they're combining the Indiana Jones traps on you now.
Alright, here we go. One final puzzle room. Well... puzzle? Question mark?
Your first question is, can you figure out which one you have to hit?
See, I initially thought this was going to be like an actual puzzle. And by about 2/3 of the way through, I was like, oh, it's just hit all of them once. Which is a little unfortunate. I mean, I think, obviously, you know, this is not the kind of game that really would play nicely with, you know, actual capital P puzzles. But I think it would have been a nice little capstone for the final dungeon of the chapter.
Yeah, and like, it doesn't have to be like complex. Like, you know, hit all or figure out how to make the light beam travel is like a decent puzzle. But just hitting all of them once is kind of takes the wind out from underneath those wings.
Also, yes, you can steer her when she's flying around with her power attack. It is pretty great. You basically turn her into... You basically just, like, she just goes charging forward, and then you just basically Tokyo Drift your way through everything.
I was gonna say, she kind of just turns into like a Bullet Bill at that point, just to... So I gotta wonder, what the hell has Mikuriya been doing this whole fucking time we've been going through the dungeon trying to get to him?
Oh, don't you worry. We're gonna find out real quick what he's been up to.
Oh, god damn it.
I don't like the way you said that.